This is the thing that I'm planning to tackle in my iSTEMi project. What is the need for posture correction? Well, as you see in the image to the right, most households in America now sport people sitting in front of computers for hours, mainly for work or for school purposes. Now, because of this, it is very easy for their posture to become uneven and cause a lot of pressure on their spine, as seen on the image on the left. Now, why does posture in itself become so bad? Well, the reason is because of the chairs that we use and the ergonomic setups that we have often are for our own best comfort. However, humans are not conditioned to be able to sit for hours upon hours and stare at screens. Instead, they're supposed to be able to diversify their actions. And because of this lack of diversification, your body often has to adjust to a lot of pressure that's put on your spine and your glutes when you're sitting down for an extremely extended periods of time. Now, the biggest issue that we see here with the person on the right is the fact that he is slouching over toward the computer screen. Additionally, it is clear that his eyes are not completely level with the top of the computer screen, meaning he'll have to turn his neck forward and downward. As such, we can see that bad posture is something that affects not only a few individuals, but rather, especially during quarantine, will start to affect a very great majority of people. As we see in the image on the left, we can see the true extent of the damage. We can see the amount of stress caused from forward head posture, beginning from 10 pounds and going all the way to 30 pounds with just a 2-inch difference of the placement of your neck and your head. Now, this is most commonly associated with phone usage and has been considered a problem, especially for young adults who have been associated with cell phone addiction. However, this is a problem, as seen through the diagram, that is visible not only when looking at phone screens but also when sitting, due to the fact that we will be staring at screens for such a extended period of time for the work that we need to do during quarantine. So, when wanting to tackle this problem, the first thing that I realized was that on the first day of class, it is very important for humans to be able to identify different points of posture that could also be shown to a computer. This is because this is the most reliable way for humans to be able to show the concept of posture to a computer program. While humans may be able to go to a chiropractor and say that they feel pain, quantifying pain to a computer vision model would be very difficult. Rather, by trying to map points on where your joints are is a much easier way for the computer to be able to find out what is wrong with your posture. As we see in this image, there are right angles at all 8 low joints, 2 each at the shoulders, 1 each at the hip, 1 each at the knee, and 1 each at the foot. This is for standing posture. The reason I've decided to pick this image is because it clearly displays the concept of symmetry and equal balance, which is extremely necessary when sitting down, because many people tend to tilt their bodies due to the orientation of their screens, causing long-term imbalances within their balance and symmetry of their body. This is an example of what the average human being would currently be doing during quarantine. They would be sitting down and utilizing a computer for work. As you see here, there is no actual back support that this chair is providing due to this posture that the man is sitting in. This is what's going to cause his neck and his head to come extremely far forward in order to try to meet his requirements for his work and try to his body's attempts to create a well-balanced state. However, what is really happening is that because his neck and his head are going so far forward, his upper back is having to account for that in order to balance, and as such, his upper back is not aligned with his lower back. This is what's creating this sort of curve in the spine right here, which is extremely dangerous for us humans. Now, a computer vision model can sort of pick up on these cues by seeing different parts of your face. Now, using a MacBook webcam, such as what I have present right now, I plan to coordinate your ear and your shoulder, because these are points that are recognized in many common facial recognition and posture recognition softwares online, and or using the chin to the upper chest. These points would clearly indicate when posture is incorrect due to the fact that if your ear's x coordinate of the mapping of your ear is significantly further from your shoulder, then it is clear that there is something wrong with your posture. If it is too far forward, then that would mean that you are leaning over. And if it is too far back, which is not depicted in this image, then that means you are slouching. Both of these causing serious problems because of the lack of stability provided to your spine. The same could be said for your chin. If your chin is so far forward from your upper chest, there's naturally going to be a rounding of your shoulders. A rounding of the shoulders is associated with a series of posture problems, uh, including thoracic issues. However, if you sit up, you can see that the ear and the shoulder will be aligned in nearly a straight line with their x-coordinates barely differing, and the same with the chin and the upper chest. And as such, this is the type of comparison that the computer model will be able to utilize in order to find out whether or not your posture is in a good shape or not in good shape. Now, the platforms that I'm planning to use would include something like Always AI or TensorFlow, because both of these are development platforms that are able to take advantage of computer vision models. Development platforms allow you to make projects and work on them. And computer vision is the concept of computers utilizing images and webcams for videos or images to analyze those images and break them down into data that a computer can basically utilize for algorithmic solutions. Here we can see an example. I began with Always AI to demonstrate what a development platform is able to do. By downloading the starter libraries within Always AI and running the project, you can clearly see that a facial recognition software has been initiated where I was using my webcam, and you can see my face here with the facial recognition software. Even despite my efforts to try to fool it by using my hand under my chin as a very common way to prop up your body, the algorithm is still able to find out that there's a 98.78% um, uh, confidence that this indeed is a human face. Additionally, there's a good amount of light provided in this photo, which is the reason why the percentage is so high. When I tested with lower lights, I saw that the percentage would dip lower to around 70%, and with highlight, it would almost approach 100% confidence that there is indeed a human face here, which is something that a computer model is looking at, not any human being, which is extremely impressive and is how I'm planning to use computer vision to identify certain parts of the human body, such as the chin or the ear, in order to find out how human posture works and how we can fix it. Here we see an example of how these data points would be coordinated in a posture app. While this is for a man who is in natural stride, if you look at the images at 8 and 11, if you would map it from above, this would be for a full sitting picture, and from 2 to 5 above would be for more of a face cam, which is what I'm most likely going to be looking at. So from looking at that, with a significantly more zoomed in image, rather than having this shape right here, you would have points mapped to your ear and your shoulder, as I've said before, and would create somewhat of a diagonal line. Now the challenges. Now, as I already mentioned, the lack of light will be a serious challenge, and it will be necessary on the user side that they make sure to have enough light, as I did. Additionally, having jewelry or other objects may cause shapes to be distorted. While I did try to use my hand to disprove this, and it did work to some extent, you did see that it did cause the program to lose some confidence in whether or not a face was present. And as such, it is likely going to be necessary for people to remove jewelry and other objects that may confuse that program. Now, for ideas for the future in terms of the implementation of my project, while I'm trying to currently follow a project path that is pretty standard, I would like to build out this project idea into something special, which can be utilized as very innovative in its field. The first thing I plan to do is to be able to try to scale this to a mobile app, because in this way it'd be viable for family members and or friends to be able to take videos of other people in their most natural state in order to provide data to the algorithm. Because subconsciously humans are likely to change their posture compared to what it truly is, because they do not truly want to understand the extent of the issue, or they're subconsciously just not aware that they're changing their posture because they're being viewed by a program. And so what this would allow is for either some sort of a plan to be made, because you'd be able to provide data to the program at regular intervals, such as every day, every week. And so that would be a way in which you could see how the x coordinates for your ear and your shoulder, for example, are changing over time, and whether or not your posture is getting better or worse. As such, these are the ideas I'm currently looking at, and if we go back to the facial recognition software that I utilized, I plan to scale this into a much better app, which will in real time be able to figure out whether or not your posture is bad, and then be able to have many other applications that build upon that because of the untapped potential that this software has.